Hi, it's Caitlin, and I am really excited to be sharing a new collection from Chamaeleon Nails, which is like kind of mind-blowing. It's a lot of solar and flakes and shimmer and beautiful, fun polishes that are just like so dreamy and beautiful. So I am completely obsessed with this collection. I will include the details around availability where you can pre-order it or purchase the polishes. Chamaeleon Nails does have a ton of US stockists, so I will include those down in the description. One quick note before we get into the swatches, I just want to say that these are solar polishes, so you should be using a top coat that's compatible with solars. So that's something that is not going to block the UV rays, which a lot of top coats actually have to prevent yellowing of your polish, but in the case of a solar, that means it's blocking the sun from penetrating the pigment to get the color to shift. So what you want to avoid in your top coat is benzophenone, and I will include that in the description. And a few top coats that do not have that ingredient, I cannot vouch for it because I don't have them, but it was Lisa from Cosmetic Sanctuary that mentioned them in a Facebook group. So I will include that information down in the description. And then when I talk about some of the specific polishes, based on my experience, some of them were fine with my Cuticular Limitless top coat, which does have that ingredient. It still transitioned. One or two didn't work with the top coat. So we'll talk about that in the video, but I think we should just look at the polishes.
First up, we have Twilight Skies, which is a lavender pink that turns to a medium blue when exposed to sunlight. It has a soft pink to orange to gold shifting shimmer. I will make a quick mention of the fact that Chamaeleon Nails has changed up their brush. This one is beautiful. The other one was good, but this one is fantastic, even better. It's got a great density, perfect amount of bristles. It's just a really nice paddle brush. This polish is so pretty. I can't wait for you to see all of these when they transition with sunlight. It's just so much fun. And personally, I prefer solar to thermal just because I feel like it's more predictable and stable than thermals because body temperature changes throughout the day. This is dependent on sunlight. As you can see, this has full opacity in 3 coats, but solars tend to dry down a little bit dull, so do use a good glossy top coat. I am using my Cuticular Limitless, but I'll note the ones that the color transition was affected by. So Limitless, good. It was good with this one. And first you're going to see it inside under my artificial lighting, and then we're going to take it outside. You can see how it changes in the sunlight. So you do get this beautiful purple. This was through a window, so not as intense. And then when I stepped outside, here you get that full purple, which is just so pretty with that glowy shimmer. Absolutely love the colors here, love the shimmer, and I love it in both lighting situations. And I'm going to show all of the bottles and then photos so you can see the transition a bit better for your awareness. Next up we have Purple Moon. Purple Moon is a creamy white that turns into a rich purple. This one's filled with green, turquoise blue, iridescent flakes, and a green shimmer. this immediately looked like an opal, and I was just sold from there on out. This has a beautiful formula, so easy to work with, not streaky at all, super even, love the flakes, love everything about this polish. Another thing I will mention about solars is that you want to store them somewhere cool, somewhere dark. Not where they're going to be exposed to sunlight, because then they'll permanently get stuck, probably in sort of an in-between state. And the temperature does affect it too, so yeah, it's tricky because it's summertime, so, you know, buying a solar polish, getting it in the mail when you might have 120 degrees temperature, like somewhere in a mailbox, it's a bit risky, but you know, that's why I wanted to show the photos of my bottles, so you can see like how the polish is supposed to look, and then that's what I used sort of as a control to see if my top coat was affecting the color. So it was hot when I received these from Germany, but the polishes arrived fine and safe and transitioned perfectly. So again, here it is under indirect light, and you're going to be so excited when you see the way this one changes in the sun. And it does change very quickly. These are not like gradual, it's like you step outside and boom, it's a different color. Here we have Stormlands, and Stormlands is described as a white crelly that turns to a cobalt blue when in the sun. It has pink to orange to green iridescent flakes and black flakies. Whenever I see this combination of this one, at least out of UV light, it always reminds me of like Halloween and Bones, which obviously I love. So this one is immediately one that I definitely recommend, and I can't wait for you to see it once it's exposed to the UV light, because it is just so bright and such a beautiful shade of blue. You'll probably also notice that this has a fantastic crelly formula. It's really, really easy to work with, and it builds up beautifully. That third coat really turns it into sort of a jelly sandwich look, where the black flakes get a little more clouded and, you know, I want to say compressed between layers, not compressed, but you know, you get more of that crelly layered look, and this one will look best with a glossy top coat. And I love this one in the non-UV state, but I also love it, as you're going to see shortly, when I take it out into the sunlight. It's just so fun. And here I was doing a bit of a control on my thumb with different top coats, and then in the middle I left it untop coated, and all of my top coats cooperated with this particular shade. So Limitless worked well, and the other one I tried was Crystalline from Polished for Days. Now, yeah, this is how it looks in the sun, which I think is just such a beautiful shade of blue, and it really makes those flakes pop. And I'm struggling, but I wanted to show you, if you can see sort of how it transitions almost instantly when you get out into the light. So this is a little shaky and wonky, but it does the job. This one's called Water World, and this one's described as a baby blue crelly that turns to blurple when in the sun. It's filled with golden to aqua shifting iridescent flakes. And I have a very soft spot for polishes like this. I really love this one, and I absolutely love the formula. Those particular iridescent flakes just seal the deal for me. I love how they look. I also find it incredibly satisfying to watch how this one builds up. It's very watery, much like its name, but I mean, not in a bad way. It's a fantastic formula. It really lets those flakes glow through the layers, and yeah, it's just really satisfying to apply Chamaeleon Nails polishes. I find that the formulas are just fantastic, truly, and all of the elements feel very high quality, very well sourced ingredients that just work really, really well together with whatever Valerie creates. So this one is a definite favorite for me. It does dry pretty glossy, but still improves with the use of top coat. And this was another one that had no issues with the Cuticular Limitless top coat. This one's called Luminous Pine Forest, and it's a minty green that turns to a bright teal when in the sun. It also has a violet to red shifting shimmer and scattered hollow. I didn't use any sort of base coat for any of my swatches, and I don't think base coats would impact the solar effect, but I can't speak to that because I wasn't using a base coat, but I'm pretty sure base coats won't, because it's what goes on top of the nail that can inhibit the UV rays from getting through to the polish. Again, this has a nice buildable formula, best in 3 coats, and I love the hollow in here. It's honestly so delicate. It's almost not visible until the sun hits it, and then it just adds this gorgeous sparkle with the shimmer. And like most of the others, it's probably a solar pigment thing, just like thermals. They tend to dry a little bit satiny, so use glossy top coat to get that beautiful glossy finish. And again, I didn't experience much of an issue with this one using Limitless, but this one, when I took the actual bottle itself outside, as you're going to see at the end of the swatches, it might have been a little darker than what I got on my nails. So this one, you might want to use one of those Benzophenone, I can't remember how to pronounce it, free top coats. just to be sure. But as you can see, it still definitely turns to a teal, but you know, I don't know. It's hard to say. I'm not sure if it was supposed to get darker, but I would say this is a teal and it's super beautiful. And I think my nails got as dark as the bottle on the right, so, you know, that top coat should be fine. Here we have Veiled Paradise, which is a bright pale green base that turns plum when exposed to sunlight with a pink, orange, green iridescent flake. So if anyone had the Little Mermaid from Polish Pickup a few months ago, I think this has the same color as that when exposed to UV light. I really love the shade of green. It's so bright but not overly bright. It's just this beautifully soft, bright green, and the flakes look phenomenal in it as well. So here, just to be confusing, I did initially put Cuticular Limitless on this one, but I don't recommend it for Veiled Paradise because I found it did inhibit the transition. So I recommend using something that doesn't have the ingredient, which I will include in the description. And an easy way to usually tell if a top coat has or doesn't have that ingredient is those top coats that come in a opaque bottle. So they're usually the ones that claim to have like a gel-like top coat finish. So look for those, and that's usually a good indicator that it will be safe for solar. So this gets really gorgeous, this plummy purple. And here I actually swatched it and didn't put any top coat on it. So this is how it should transition properly for you when you're using the right top coat, or no top coat at all. Next up we have Secrets of the Desert, which is a bright pale yellow that turns magenta when in the sun. It's filled with a pink to orange iridescent flake, and it also has a soft orange shimmer. The colors in combination with the name immediately make me think of like Santa Fe, New Mexico, Joshua Tree, something like that. Places I've never been, would absolutely love to go, and this polish is just so pretty. I love the two different color states, and considering this is a very light yellow, it has a really good formula. It builds up beautifully in 3 coats. It's really even and just really easy to work with. So what I did here was a little control. I used my Cuticula Limitless, polished for days, crystalline, and a hollow taco top coat on everything but my middle finger, and you can see how they all pretty much inhibited the solar effect. So definitely make sure you're avoiding the B word ingredient and then you're going to ensure proper transition. You are now looking at Gloomy Canyon, and Gloomy Canyon is described as a pale orange that turns a dusty purple when in the sun, with a violet to orange iridescent flake and soft shimmer. I absolutely love the color of this one. That orange is so beautiful, and I don't know, I just love the combination with the flakes, and I absolutely love the color it transitions to in UV solar light. So can't wait for you to see that, but you can tell that this has a phenomenal formula. It builds up so beautifully in just 2 coats, and if you want, you can do 3, which I'm going to do, but it also worked really well in just 2 coats. So here I'm actually using a top coat. It's discontinued, but it's like an Essence Mega Gel Shine that comes in an opaque silver bottle. So this one definitely worked to allow that solar transition to happen. And you can see it here getting darker and more purpley as the sun shines its light on it. This is the specific top coat that I used. It's called Extreme Gel, so it's not a gel top coat, but anything that sort of claims that is definitely gonna work. And I actually used it on my index and middle finger and used no top coat on my ring and pinky, and even still it sort of affected a little bit, but overall I'm not gonna go top coatless, so it'll do. Last but certainly not least, we have Cherry Blossom Grove, which is so beautiful in the bottle. This is a lilac base that turns magenta in the sun, and it's packed with iridescent flakes. I actually love this one in the bottle without the UV light. I'm just a sucker for these soft kind of colors with pretty iridescent flakes. It just is so like fairy-like and magical to me. And who doesn't love a good cherry blossom tree? So this is a really, really pretty polish in both states, as you're going to see, but I'm, partial to the non-UV state. I was happy with the coverage of this one in 2 coats. It's got great opacity. And again, I'm using my gel like top coat. It doesn't have benzophenone in it. And no, it's benzophenone, I think. Anyway, I've been butchering that the entire time. Doesn't matter. It's in the description. And this is such a pretty polish, just like everything in this collection.
I really truly love that collection. I love every single one of the polishes. I think they're all stunning, but you might not be able to get all of them, so I will let you know what my personal favorites are. And one of my top picks is Purple Moon. I absolutely love a white opalescent nail polish, and I love that it turns to purple because I also love purple nail polish, so it's like a win-win. I also really like Twilight Skies because of the shimmer. I loved both colors. And yeah, the shimmer is just beautiful and the formula was phenomenal. And I also really liked Waterworld. This polish is beautiful and again, love the colors, but I also just super love the flakes. So I am a big fan of that polish as well. So let me know in the comments what you think about these polishes. Let me know if you plan on picking any of them up. I encourage you to if you like them because they're beautiful. They're gorgeous, they're fun. Now that we know how solars work and the best way to get them to transition, hopefully that will just make everything beautiful and happy and wonderful. So that's it for me. I hope you're having a great day wherever you are, and hopefully I will see you again soon. Bye.